He sacked him. A great bull rush by Chris Jones.
He's not banking on the skill that he's been blessed with.
It's on Kelsey. Great catch. Touchdown. Kansas City, the 10. Still not down. Oh, what a run. Out of this world. Sinks it up the middle. Intercepted. Intercepted by Matthew. The Honey Badger doesn't care.
6 times we had him.
And welcome to the Hey, we had him all the way edition of Chiefs Rewind. The Chiefs win it in overtime with an exhilarating victory in Los Angeles, 23-20 over the Chargers in that brand new $5.5 billion stadium, SoFi Stadium. But it was a $5.5 billion kick. In fact, 2 of them. Harrison Butker, 58-yard field goals twice that tied the record of the Chiefs that had stood since 1985.
Yeah, Butker did his job. As a former player, we always joke about how the kickers aren't really part of our team until we really need them. Butker, he comes through in the clutch. Everybody loves him. They put him on his shoulder. Man, awesome job at Harrison.
This game felt so much like Super Bowl 54 from the standpoint of the Chiefs were frustrated all day long. Give the Chargers credit now. This is a really good defense. And what were the Chargers doing to keep the Chiefs and Mahomes off kilter until the end?
Well, what teams are most scared of when you talk about some fear factor, your fear of the Chiefs going over the top and going downtown. Unleashing their home run hitters, Tyreek Hill, Kelsey, and even every time we had a shot to go deep, there was a safety hanging out. There was a D lineman hanging on Pat. There was something to get Pat's eyes off of the downfield targets and bring him back to underneath. So they did a great job just badgering and being around our guys. Always rerouting, being underneath routes to make Pat have the second thought, take a little bit of second, had to think about those throws a little bit extra when it came down to those deep passes.
But we've called Mahomes Muhammad Ali on our Defending the Kingdom podcast, or call him Floyd Mayweather. You got him for 14 rounds, and then in the 15th round, he knocks you out. The 54-yard double move to Tyreek Hill to finally get that big chunk play was like the Wasp play in Super Bowl 54. What a route catch. He somersaults into the end zone. I mean, just a remarkable play. And teams get frustrated up to that point. If you're not getting what you normally get, teams will get so frustrated they can't get it done. This team will get it done when it needs to get done the most.
Yeah, when you double a guy like Tyreek, you have the safety hanging over the top. You got guys coming underneath. You can only keep that double with the right leverage so long before he leaks out. And that was one of the perfect routes. He stemmed, went vertical. They didn't know if he was going to stem to the left or the right. He leaks out right. Pat leads him perfectly. Outstretched arms, gets it. They thought they might have touched him before he went into the end zone, but no, Cheetah scores.
But we've seen the Cheetah do these backflips out here, and they're like, come on, man, like, don't get hurt. He did the somersault there that was actually got him the touchdown.
Definitely.
I mean, it was terrific, but a lot of heroes here. There were some stops that were made when the Chiefs were getting kind of worked on the line of scrimmage for the most part in this game. We're going to pick up the Andy Reid presser. Let's go to the Andy Reid presser right now.
And his coaches, Gus Bradley and the guys, you talk about coaches that work against you, and I know their schemes and their players and how they play those things. It's incredible. So we come out of it with a ton of room to improve, and we'll do that. I mean, I didn't think we were very efficient offensively. And again, tribute to pounding through. Patrick made some nice plays with his legs. Defensively, we got to keep working on our tackling. These are early season things that you see. We got to do better there. Snead came up with a big turnover for us. It was really helped us kind of get things going in the right direction. And then Butker. I mean, what can you say? He kicked 4 field goals and 2 of them counted. But that's a tough thing to do, and he's a mentally tough kid, and we appreciate him and how he goes about his job. Anyways, with that, time's yours.
Let's go first to Adam Teicher. Go ahead, Adam.
Hey, Andy, I just want to clarify real quick. Brad, I'll have a follow-up here. Just want to clarify, is Sammy in the concussion protocol?
I'll get to that later. I can't tell you that right this minute. I presume he is, but I don't have that for you right now.
Okay. On the Butker kick at the end of the game, after the false start penalty, how difficult of a decision was that? And I don't know how good your view was of the Pat's long touchdown pass to Hill, but you feel like there's another quarterback who can make that throw?
Not rolling out like that. I just thought that was a spectacular throw. And then for 10 to make that grab, I mean, that was a great catch. And those two have a special connection between them. And we keep seeing it week after week, year after year here. So it's, it's time tested, and 10 was exhausted. I mean, he ran like a center fielder there in soccer. So a midfielder. And I mean, he put in a lot of miles, and he reached down deep and kept it going. So Kels had some big catches there too down the stretch, which were good.
Let's go next to Sam McDowell. Go ahead, Sam.
Hey, Andy. How much did their defensive line just sort of disrupt what you mentioned? You've got some room to improve offensively. How much did their defensive line sort of disrupt the rhythm of your offense there, especially in the first three quarters?
Yeah, so I think just all in all, we have room to improve, myself included. So putting our players in better positions. So, but they've got a great defensive front. I mean, that's what they have. And the one thing our guys do is they kept battling right down the end. And when we needed big plays, we were able to get big plays. When we were able to protect and allow Patrick to pop out and run, and those were also big things there. But I just thought the guys reached down and battled. Both teams were exhausted, I think, and you can talk to them too. I mean, it's all part of this, but it's early in the season, so I think both teams have reached down and tried to grab what they had left.
Let's go next to Herbie. Go ahead, Herbie.
Hey, Coach, you mentioned a tough team win, and I know during the week of practice you prepared for Tyrod Taylor. When a team throws out a rookie quarterback like Justin Herbert today, how tough is that adjustment process as the game goes on?
Yeah, well, I mean, I feel bad for Tyrod. I mean, being hurt, I know he'd look forward to playing us, and we get the young kid, and he did a great job. I thought he managed the game well, and they ran the ball well, and then he made plays where he needed to. He just, he had a turnover in there. So, those things can come back and bite you a little bit. And that's what ended up happening.
Let's go next to Sam Mellinger. Go ahead, Sam.
Hey, Andy. The protection, I know you mentioned, and obviously they've got a great defensive front, but do you have a sense for how many of those protection problems were just them being that good, and how much of that was, stuff you guys could have done better?
Well, I tell you, they're pretty good, and they're going to get you. I mean, that's how that rolls. When you play this team, they're going to get you every once in a while. So you just got batting it down, and again, I could help out the guys better with some play calls.
Let's go next to Pete Sweeney. Go ahead, Pete.
Hey, Coach, I'd imagine the game winner, you felt a little bit more comfortable from 53 and then 58 because he had made that initial 58. And I just was curious what went into that thought process, conversations with Dave and Harrison to say, we think he has this range today.
Yeah, there wasn't a lot of wind down there, so that's a good thing. Actually, a little bit like the greenhouse effect. I mean, it was warm down there. So we said 40 before the game, either way, and he felt comfortable with it. I mean, you saw that. I mean, he kicked enough of them from there that you got a pretty good idea what Dave was feeling before the game. So,
let's go next to Seren Petro. Go ahead, Seren.
Coach, I mean, a win's a win in the NFL. You've said many times about how getting that's what it's all about, and I know teams have tough days, right? You guys had a tough day and you got to win. That's the mark of a good team. But, you had a couple kind of mental miscues. One, McCole Hardman didn't touch down. The guy who came up with the interception, of course, got called back. It didn't cost you. And Tyreek Hill took his helmet off after the touchdown. Again, didn't get called. Is that, kind of indicative of this, just what you guys just weren't in sync today, right? Again, you found a way to win, but mentally, you guys just weren't sharp?
Well, we got to do better, especially I didn't see 10s, but I didn't know if his helmet got knocked off or he took it off. I don't know that. But I can tell you 17 will learn from that. He's a real smart kid. He won't let that happen. He's trying to make a play, and then ended up being an interception. He didn't really know what was going on there, but he's got no excuses. He got to touch the guy down, but he'll learn from it. I mean, that's how he does, and it won't happen to him again.
Let's go next to Nate Taylor. Go ahead, Nate.
Hey, Andy, I just wanted to ask you about Patrick's play on 3rd and 20, the scramble to get 22 yards to keep you guys in the advantage to go to overtime. Just what does it say that he can make a play when the defense does the correct call, even though you guys, obviously try to put players in an advantage?
Yeah, well, listen, he did the same thing in Detroit last year. Things weren't going very well, and here he pops off a couple runs, and big one like that, same type of deal. He's a great player, I mean, he loves the game, and he loves when it's on the line. I mean, he wants the ball. A lot of guys, I think, shy away from that. He wants it, and he's got guys around him that want it, and are willing to reach down deep in a situation like that.
Let's go next to Aaron Ladd. Go ahead, Aaron.
Coach, we hear so much about the 2019 team and obviously their championship run, but when you got out a tough win like this one where you don't play your best ball, what does it tell you about the makeup of this year's team, especially some of the young guys that stepped up on defense?
Yeah, listen, it's you have to be able to do this in this league. There's just too much parity in the league. And that's a very talented football team. And so, you've got to, there are going to be times like this where if things aren't working, you can't just back. You got to go 4 quarters of aggressive football. And that's what our guys did. I mean, that throw that Pat made to 10 and then 10 making the catch on it on the deep one, I mean, that was a thing of beauty. And so they bear down, and they made big plays down the stretch. You can go from a number of different guys. And I didn't mention our young running back and the things that he did, our defense stepping up and just putting the hammer down, at the end there. So giving us an opportunity to win the game. And, Badger just getting after guys and making sure that we're doing the right thing, especially these young corners. We just did it with 2 young corners, man. And what a great opportunity for them. So we expect when you step in that you raise your game and let's go, man. Let's go. And you got to see that today. Yeah.
We've got time for a couple more. Let's go Adam Teicher and then Sam Farmer. Go ahead, Adam.
And you just wanted to double back on the Harrison Butker thing. After the false start penalty, how difficult of a decision was that for you to try that again after he'd made it once from 53 and once from 58 when they called timeout?
No, not at all. Full trust in him. I wanted to make sure the protection was right. They did a good job of kind of overloading, and I just want to make sure our protection was good. The guys tightened it up. We had the 1 extra point block there, so it was good. Good to get that taken care of.
Let's finish off with Sam Farmer. Go ahead, Sam. Sam.
Sorry, Andy. What was the precise moment that you knew you'd be getting Herbert as opposed to Tyrod? And what most impressed you about the guy, who hadn't had any preseason games or anything?
Well, if he just found out before the game, that was a heck of a job. So, I mean, pretty spectacular. Then that's when we found out. We had no idea. So I'm not sure they had an idea. I don't know. I was told that the other kid, Tyrod, got hurt or hurt himself in the warm-ups. Doesn't happen very often in a quarterback, but he's got to be hurting for him to pull out like that. I mean, he's got to be really hurting.
Coach, we really appreciate your time today. Thanks for joining us.
Okay, take care. Thank you.
Obviously, an exhilarated Andy Reid, but he knew how tough this opponent was going to be. And the Chiefs win it in overtime, 23-20 on a walk-off 58-yarder by Harrison Butker. So we've talked about the poise of Mahomes. We talk about Butker's big kicks. But this defense, it was almost like watching Super Bowl 54 again.
Man, the defense, it transformed. It evolved throughout the game. The defense, it seemed like it was in a bend-don't-break type mode to begin the game. And then once we got into the fourth quarter and overtime, it became just a savage mentality of we got to be the guys to win the game. Talk about Fenton's stop on 4th down, keeping Mike Williams short of that 1st down to end that drive and get the punt, get the ball back to the Chiefs. You talk about Frank Clark. Even without being a part of the game, right? Chris Jones comes in there making play after play after play, and then Missouri State, your guy.
Yeah, Tershawn Wharton. He's like making plays out of the Missouri S&T Miners. But they get a 3 and out in overtime after the Chargers won the toss and had the ball first. But let's go back. The Chargers have the ball for over 10 minutes in the fourth quarter, but they got first and goal at the 3. A defense, what's the mentality of a defense going? If they get 7 here, it totally changes the game. But the Chiefs stopped them. They stopped them 3 times.
I think that goes back to we talked with Willie Lanier a few times about that. What do you do when the other team has the ball on the 1 yard line and they're about to win the football game? Well, hey, man, you jump the snap count. You get penetration. You do what you got to do to make sure that it's a play for loss, a negative play. And we stopped them 2-3 times right at the point of attack to make it a big third down stop. And we stopped them, held them to a field goal. And that's what really was the game changer, keeping them out the end zone, which allowed us to only need a field goal to tie it up and go in overtime. Man, that would have been an entirely different mind frame going into the last drive of the game if you needed a touchdown. That would have put the Chargers, they would have smelled some blood in the water. Bosa, Ingram, they tapped out kind of at the end of the game. They were not out on the field in crucial times in the fourth quarter when they needed to be. So I don't know, man. It seems like it was something kind of the place was set for the Chiefs to really come out and be overcomers, right? They was going to be counter punchers in this game, and that's what they did. They stepped up at the end of the game.
Let's give some credit here to Justin Herbert, the rookie quarterback of the Chargers. It was a late second decision. Tyrod Taylor got injured earlier in the week on Friday, but during warm-ups, he's ruled he's not going to play. So now you get the rookie out of Oregon, the 6th pick in the draft, but I thought he played with a lot of poise. He had the one mistake. L'Jarius Sneed with that interception was enormous. But overall, we've seen the division try to draft to meet Patrick Mahomes. Drew Lock goes to Denver. They take this kid. Everybody's trying to look for the Mahomes, and there were times in this game he had the poise of Mahomes.
Especially when running the ball. Some of his runs reminded us a lot of Mahomes, keeping the chains going, putting the weight on his shoulders. And he's a big boy. He ran the ball well, first downs. I think Mahomes 3 or 4 times this game kept the chains going for the Chiefs by running the ball, and that's one of the hidden things with Mahomes. Everybody's so worried about the vertical game, what he does with his arms, but it's his legs. Late in the game, when the Chargers are going all man across, doubling Tyreek, doubling Kelsey, it's the scrambling ability of Pat Mahomes that keeps the clock moving, keeps the chains moving, and keeps us with the possession.
And to your point, the last drive that sets up the 58-yard field goal to win it, a 13-play drive there, but he converts a 3rd and 3 after he gets the Chargers to jump offside with one of those hard counts. 3rd and 8 became 3rd and 3. He picks it up on a scramble for 4. Then he on a 3rd and 4, he scrambles for 3, thinking he barely picked it up. Then they go for it on 4th down, and Thompson gets the 2-yard pickup. But his ability to recognize, meaning Mahomes, and then his ability to run. Because if teams do play, we talked about this, if they play man-to-man or they try to send a blitz and he gets away, he can take off. Now, he's not going to win the 100-meter dash, but he might place in the 400 meters.
Hey, you look at that 20-yard scramble he had in the fourth quarter. That deep safety deep, he played about 2 yards too deep. He came up, met Mahomes just 1 yard beyond the first down marker. But Pat Mahomes is still Pat Mahomes. We saw him in that touchdown throw to Mecole Hardman for the no-look. That was a beautiful thing, man. When he's still doing that, it's still Pat Mahomes. He's still doing what he has to do to make all the big plays, and that's what he is, man. He's a playmaker amongst the playmakers when you talk about NFL quarterbacks.
He is the GOAT, and he's got big horns, and he just made some goatish type plays. Let's pick up Pat Mahomes with his presser in Los Angeles.
Down the long one.
As far as the field goal, I had 100% confidence in Butker every time he's on the field. And then the runs, the run, obviously 3rd and 20. At that time when I took off running, I was more worried about trying to get in field goal range to get Butker to be able to tie the game. But then I was able to get the first down, and we were almost able to kind of put a touchdown in there before regulation ended. And then the throw to Tyreek was a play that we had game planned for. We wanted to run it earlier in the game, but we couldn't get to the right situation to run it. And so we were able to get it off, and I just put it out there as far as I can on the run, and Tyreek made a heck of a catch in double coverage.
Let's go next to Pete Sweeney. Go ahead, Pete.
Pat, it seemed like early you were just under a ton of pressure. I'm wondering how you managed, especially early in the game and then carrying especially into the fourth quarter, how you managed to get comfortable and start to see some runs and really pull this thing out.
early in the game, especially that first quarter, I think I just wasn't playing up to par. There was stuff there. We had throws there, and I just wasn't making the right read, or I was making bad throws. And then as the game went on, I mean, that D-line is going to get through. I mean, they have great players over there. And after I got hit a couple of times, it kind of settled me back in, and I was able to find a way at the end of the game to put up enough points to get the win.
Let's go next to Aaron Ladd. Go ahead, Aaron.
Patrick, you've been a young starter before. You look across and you see what Herbert did today. What do you think about what his first game looked like?
I mean, he played his tail off, man. I mean, he really did. Our defense shows a lot of different coverages, a lot of different looks, and for him to be able to move the ball down the field and get points on the board, I mean, I thought he did a great job. I kind of joked with him. I was like, just maybe protect yourself on some of those runs. But I mean, he ran the ball well. He threw the ball well, and it was a heck of a first start for him.
Let's go next to Sam Mellinger. Go ahead, Sam.
On some of those runs, was there something specific they were doing defensively that kind of opened that up for you? Was that just a matter of nobody's open, I got to go do this?
No, I mean, they were playing coverage. I think it was just they were playing coverage. They were getting depth, and our offensive line was giving me time, but they were getting so depth that we couldn't find ways to get open. And so the thing about them playing coverage and being so deep is that they don't have a guy for me, and so I was able to run and get some yards downfield. And so it's just trying to find whatever way to win. I think that's the biggest thing. Teams are going to stay back and guard our receivers. I'm going to have to find ways with my feet to make stuff happen.
Let's go next to Harold Kuntz. Go ahead, Harold.
Chiefs win it 23-20 in overtime because of this guy, Harrison Butker, with the walk-off 58-yarder. It tied his own record that he set earlier in the game of 58, tying Nick Lowry's two 58-yard field goals. I'm going to say this, Harrison, watching you kick from our little tent over there 150 yards away during training camp, I go, he's going to hit from 60 this year. Just how good was it to hit 58 yards twice, really 4 times, because they made you kick that last one 3 times?
Yeah, it felt great. You know, I've been feeling really good ever since this offseason, and then continuing on in training camp. The operation with James Winchester and Tommy Townsend has been amazing. And then I'm just thankful for Coach Tobe to have the faith in me to say, all right, if we get to the 40-yard line, Harrison's ready to go. So we had the 58-yarder earlier in the game that we were able to make. And then obviously the 53, 58, and 58, only one of those counted. But I'm feeling great. The whole unit is doing awesome, and I'm just doing my part to help this team get a W.
Well, Harrison, that leg of yours is sweet as a 9-iron, and you didn't need any gimmies, you didn't need any mulligans. I mean, I'm about to start calling you the process, because the process always dictates the product. And you, like you said, that operation time. Can you walk us through? Because when I saw that last kick of yours, I think it would have been good from 68. It cleared the ball by almost 10 yards. So how far can you really kick it, brother?
Yeah, well, this warm-up, I felt really good. I hit from 67 in the warm-up. Then at halftime, I actually hit from 70 that direction. So 58-yarder, I just knew I had to hit the ball smooth. And like you said, focus on the process. I have a couple checkpoints I go through in my head. I try not to focus too much on the outcome. And, you know, I was able to get kind of 2 practice kicks and make that last one from 58.
But that's that engineering background from Georgia Tech coming through. I want to ask you, though, in your mindset, all right, the penalty, you hit it from 53, whoops, now we got to try it from 58, and then they try to freeze you. Your mindset, and then is there discussion with Winchester and Townsend, because you alluded to them early on, but you've got a rookie holder that has to do that in the extreme circumstances. What was said, or what were your thought processes there, knowing I'm going to hit this 50 times if you want me to?
Yeah, so as I kind of back the ball up, attempt a longer field goal, I usually try to swing a little bit harder, which causes my ball to go left a little bit. So that first 53-yarder, I just aimed a little bit right. You know, the ball went through, but it went too far left for my liking. So for the 58-yarder, Tommy and I, we adjusted. We aimed even farther right. That ball went through. I think it still went left. And then for the very last one, I knew, okay, I just need to swing smooth. I have enough leg power, and hopefully I don't hook this thing left. And I was able to hit it straight. But Tommy's done an amazing job since he's been here with the holds. He's able to get the ball down really fast, the proper lean. Everything's been really good. The whole operation, and James snaps have been awesome as well with perfect laces. Tommy's not having to move the laces at all.
Perfect laces. Tommy is doing his job. The snapper, the holder, the operation is smooth. These are all. This is a championship mentality I'm hearing here. This is a operation that's already on playoff level, and you showed it in overtime, man. Right now you're the king of the castle. How did it feel when the team put you on their shoulders to let you know how much they appreciated the kicker?
Oh, it felt amazing. I mean, when you go into a game, you envision yourself hitting the game winner, and I was able to have the game-tying kick to go to overtime, and then, that was only 30 yards, so it was a lot more fun to make a 58-yarder. But, special teams is 1/3 of the game, and I only have so many plays, but if I can execute and do well on those, they have the chance to help the team win. So really happy that we could make that kick to win the game, and I'm just pumped up to go Monday night versus the Ravens. Monday Night Football.
Yeah, but you mentioned, and this is something you and I talked about this summer when we had you on our podcast, in the fact that you're asked sometimes when Tobe goes, just blast it, get it out of here, kick it to the Santa Monica Pier, or let's hang that baby up. We saw it again in this game. Your ability to have placement and hang time, and then these kickoff coverage guys blowing him up inside the 20. And your ability to do that, and with these coverage guys that you have, how much of a weapon is that, even maybe more or better than last year?
It's a huge weapon. I think the first kickoff, maybe it was the second kickoff of the game, was the only one they got outside of the 25. The rest of them, we got one on the 15-yard line. But that's huge. Most teams, you saw with the Chargers, hitting touchbacks. I think they were a little scared to test our kickoff return team, but we're not afraid to go at teams. And I think we definitely won the day on kickoff coverage as far as the field, the yardages. So, I think moving forward, we're able to establish ourselves as the best kickoff coverage team in the league, and, trying to take over on all phases and be the best special teams team in the league.
And final question, that new turf there, they put a spaceship in there. Your engineering buddies at Georgia Tech, I mean, that's a marvel, that place they built. What was that turf like for you to kick off today?
Oh, the stadium was amazing. I did a little research, and I read an article that said the turf in SoFi Stadium was the exact same turf that the Cowboys and the Texans have, and I had good games in both those stadiums, so I wasn't worried going into this game. But it was great, and obviously, as you could see from this game, I felt very comfortable kicking on it.
Take a bow. As Barbershop said, you are a king of the kingdom tonight. So enjoy that plane ride home, and congratulations on a terrific game, Harrison.
Yes, sir. Thank you, guys. Appreciate it.
Harrison Butker, the walk-off 58-yarder to win it in overtime after hitting from 58 earlier. Again, that tied an all-time Chiefs record of 58 twice by Nick Lowry back in the 1980s. Also, 16 straight games with a made field goal by Harrison Butker. That is an all-time Chiefs record. But a huge play in this game, Tyreek Hill. We started the show with it. His great route, his acrobatic catch, and then basically somersaulting into the end zone. Let's go to the Tyreek Hill presser now from L.A.
I mean, like, playing in a stadium with no fans, I will say, is like the weirdest thing ever. It's almost like a scrimmage, and it kind of felt weird for me at first. That's why the first quarter I didn't feel like myself, because I'm a wide out. I mean, I'm a punt return specialist, so I feed off the crowd. That's what I do, So next week, I mean, I'm sure Coach Reed and EB and Spags, they're going to do a good job, with practice simulating crowd noises, energy, whatever that may be.
We've got time for a few more guys. We'll go right down the line. Nate, Harold, and then Adam to close it out. Go ahead, Nate.
Tyreek, I just wonder how much of last year's postseason run, being down double digits, especially in the Super Bowl in the fourth quarter, how much did that feel similar today? And how much can you use that because you guys do play so well in the fourth quarter of close games?
Well, we try not to live in the past so much, because that's our mentality, and that's what, Coach EB and Coach Reed, they always tell us, you can't live in the past. You always got to look forward. So, like I said, we just can't shoot ourselves in the foot early on, with penalties, with drop passes from myself, and just lack of effort. I feel like I'm going to speak for myself. I didn't give, second and third effort, blocking for 2-5 down the field as I should every play. Was it there some plays? Yes, but I didn't give it to them, like every play. So we got to be better in those situations, because those plays, blocking down the field are what creates the big plays down the field for us. So.
Let's go next to Harold Kuntz. Go ahead, Harold.
Tyreek, Mahomes only had 60 yards of passing in the first half and then 90 yards of penalties overall, kind of the complete opposite of last week. We only had 5 yards of penalties. Just what was this? What went into that, and just how did you correct that going into halftime?
Well, we came in doing a halftime. Obviously EB said what he had to say, but I mean, Pat, he sat the whole offense down and just had a talk and was like, "Hey guys, we got to step up and make a play. Who's it going to be? Leaders. I need y'all to be more vocal to your groups and just, and just show up. So we kind of lean on each other, to make plays, and that's how it is on this team. Like let's say for instance, Kelsey comes and makes a 50-yard catch. Like that's going to create energy for myself, for Sammy, for Mighty Mouse, for like all those other guys. So that's what changed it. Just the energy level, and just awareness of the time. So
we'll go to Adam Teicher for the last one. Go ahead, Adam.
Hey, Tyreek, regarding that long touchdown pass you caught, do you feel like many other quarterbacks besides Pat could have made that kind of throw on the run?
Well, I could have made that throw because I'm like our fifth string quarterback, but any other quarterback? Nah, I don't think so, man. It's tough. Pat, I feel like he's in a lane of his own. Pat, probably Aaron Rodgers. Yeah, probably them two or Russell Wilson. Them three. I say them three, but Pat, me being like fast and just Pat having the arm strength and the accuracy and just, just the trust to just even throw that is just amazing to me. So it was a great ball. He kind of overthrew me because I had to lean forward for it a little bit, but it was a good ball though.
Tyreek, we appreciate your time today. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you, buddy. Thanks, guys.
All right, guys, we got Harrison.
Okay, at the end of the night, and I'm thankful Tyreek Hill is on this team. Oh my gosh, let's be honest. That 54-yard touchdown, Barbershop, you played in the league for a decade. How many guys in this league right now can make that play, run that route, make that catch, somersault into the end zone against two DBs?
Well, you have to have the right athlete combined with the right quarterback. And there's only one team with that combination. It's the Kansas City Chiefs right now. So I know Tyreek is excited, but the entire team can't wait to get back on the plane. And I think Harrison, he summed it up best when he says, I'm ready to get on and get ready for the Ravens.
And the Ravens will be Monday Night Football. A week from tomorrow, the Chiefs will go to Baltimore to take on the Ravens, and it's going to be the talk all week long. It'll be a game much like this one. Very physical, tough game, but the battle of the MVPs. We'll address it when we are with our podcast this week on Defending the Kingdom. But now you have the battle that everybody in the NFL wants to have.
And Edgar Allan Poe said never more. And we could never be more excited for the Chiefs to go to the Ravens and for Pat Mahomes to take our Kansas City Chiefs on the road against the undefeated Ravens team and show them who is the champions of the AFC.
Edgar Allan Poe is wishing, I wish I'd have written that book of the last 2 years MVPs meeting on Monday Night Football. But that's where we're headed as the Chiefs at 2-0. We'll take on the Baltimore Ravens. He's Shawn Barber. The Chiefs get a heck of a victory, never leading in this game against the Chargers until the end. Chiefs are going to continue to try to run it back in Baltimore.
Chiefs Rewind is brought to you by Ford, the official car and truck of the Kansas City Chiefs, and by Community America Credit Union, the official banking partner of the Kansas City Chiefs.